Welcome to Packin a Can with Dean Stanfield. We got a guest on the on the blah, blah, blah. Starting over. Welcome to Packin a Can with Dean Stanfield. Got Kevin Manetti here as a guest today. We're gonna do have a fun podcast, man. You ready?
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a blast. We had Mr. Kerrigan on yesterday.
Okay, James, good guy.
Yeah, good guy, great guy. We talked about Asia. He's taking off to China.
Pretty crazy to think about.
Insane,
I don't know, man.
We just kind of like went through the whole where he went with it and how he found it. He was just on a website and he was like, "That looks fun." Boom.
So I could never make a decision like that on a whim.
I've made some crazy like. When I was 18, I started building power lines, and they were like, "Look, you have to move to Kennedy."
You're a lineman. You are the definition of a lineman, by the way. So,
oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so we went through, and I was like, I didn't have any family in the town. I didn't have any didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I had like $1,000 in my bank account. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go." And showed up, and it was like, I don't know, it was like a month or two before I met people.
Yeah.
But that was 4 hours away. I was 4 hours away from my family.
18 too.
And I was 18.
Yeah, that's a big jump, dude.
But he's moving to a different continent.
He's moving to a different continent, and it could not be a worse time for him to try to go to China. You know what I mean?
China.
I mean, he has
Are you not worried about it?
The balls on Kerrigan, man.
Dude, that dude's got some fucking big old hairy.
Not to call him out, but the balls and ass crack on that dude. I don't know how many times I've seen that guy and not seen his ass crack. I love you, dude. I love you, dude. But get a different belt. I swear to God. A belt, dude.
A belt would be great.
A belt would be great.
Some rope. I don't care what
I don't know, man. I love you, dude. It comes from my heart.
They're not going to put up with that shit in China.
No, they are not.
No, they'll cane him in the streets.
Oh, my God. They're going to just take off his pants. Either show it all or nothing, man.
What are you doing
with your life? What are you doing, dude?
You know? You think he's a whitey-tighty guy?
Oh, I know it because I've seen it. He's definitely, dude.
Oh, he seems like such an old man. Like, I love Kerrigan, but I think he drinks All Sport. They stopped making All Sport in the 90s.
Where does he find it? It's an off-brand Amazon.
I know. I think he's just got the one bottle and he just keeps refilling it with different things, you know? But they post it all the time. They'll be like, "Great workout today. Still loving what All Sport's doing for my body." Like fucking Kerrigan.
No, dude.
And he works out, dude.
He works out. We have
hard.
We have a weird relationship because I come from technically the same area as he does. It's like I'm from Virginia, he's from Maryland, but we're like 30 minutes away. And it's like the same triangle, basically. So we're simpatico in that way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually small world. Comedy is a small world because we can get into it, but I did start doing comedy in DC. And I remember once I was doing it in Arlington, which is just like 10 minutes away from DC. And he comes back home and he visits his family. And I remember seeing him at this one club in Arlington. Yeah.
No shit.
And I only remember it because I remember he had this one like pretty good Rugrats joke. And then like one of the first mics I came to here.
Is it Rugrats or Blue Clues?
It's Blue Clues too, but he has another one about It might be the same one.
Okay.
But I remember just like remembering that and being like, holy shit, like, are you from that area? And he was like, yeah, man. And it was
just see Kerrigan one time on stage. I'm sorry, but you've seen him
1,000 times.
Like, I mean, he's that guy. There's no other like guy like that.
No.
So he does these like rants. Have you ever heard him do rants?
Yeah.
Dude, when he gets mad about something or starts like yelling at somebody, it's not like Joey Diaz. But the only other person that I've seen do rants like that is him.
Yeah,
you know?
He's good. I mean, he has good audience participation. He's good at yelling at people, and that
crowd work. Him and Andre Ricks prior to this were some of the best crowd work guys I've seen. I know.
It's cool though when you could see that, like, because he's good at writing jokes too. But it's the skill to be able to like make fun of somebody and then go to a joke that you have later or tie it in. It's I look up to that in
some way. Like, I mean, he's been doing it for 6 years. So, you know, hopefully. Well, how many years have you been doing comedy now?
So, like, on and off, like 2.5 or 2-ish. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
My first time I ever went on stage, I was 21. And I went in D.C. with my brother. And I bombed so bad. So bad.
That's a question I have on here. Because, so when you ask people, normally, like I've interviewed 10 comedians so far, local Austin guys. And the majority of the time, it's always they did great on their first set.
And then they think
and then
they can do it.
The second set is you just get this dumb version, because that's what I did. I got up there and I was like, fuck. I mean, I know I'm funny.
This is easy, yeah.
And then I'm like, now I can do it. I'm like, fuck, this is easy, bro.
Not even that.
Second one, I wanted to cry afterwards.
It hurts because you thought you were so good from the first one, and then you're like, oh, this is actually hard.
And then people were just like, not only were just people silent, people were like, what?
Yeah.
Like, they're just
I don't understand you.
And I'm like, and it was just recurring, playing back in my mind. It was just like,
dude, picture this. I was 21 years old. We were in the heart of DC. I was with my brother, and the guy, for whatever reason, decides to put me up first. To lead the brigade in the open mic. Sure, this 21-year-old kid who's never done it before. Let's see what happens. And
you know what he was doing?
He was being a dick.
Yeah, he's being a dick.
And
that's a guy that's just running an open mic. He's fucking bored. He's like, I want to see somebody squirm.
And I did, dude. And it took me a while to come back because.
Oh, so then afterwards it was like.
It was just laziness. I just did it. Not even that. I told myself I would, but then it's just like every night would come and I would see all these mics and I would just puss out, and it sucks. But I don't. It's very much my trajectory in life. But I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah, man,
I'm glad I'm back.
Bro.
I never would think about doing anything else, really.
No. Okay. So did you know from a young age that you wanted to be a comedian?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely, like 16 probably.
Okay. Yeah. When you're still figuring out life.
I guess that's not a young age, but like I always thought like I would just get into it one day. I never knew when that day was, and I tried it when I was 21, and then I got scared, and then I came back. I came back when I was like 24, 25, and it was just like once. That's why I don't really count it, how many long I've been doing it for, because I would do it like once a week or like once a month or something like that. And that's not doing stand-up. For me, stand-up is like you have to do it at least 3-4 times a week.
If you're not doing it 3-4 times a week and working towards building a set, I think that makes a huge difference.
And that's
you can tell when
bare
people
minimum.
are doing.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to build a 10-minute set, like that's the inner workings of how you start booking shows, how you start, getting out there, getting your name out there, putting content online.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, even if it's just in your first 2 years, it's kind of like, I don't know. But there's so many guys that find whatever, like 10-minute, it could be like a 5-minute set that works really well for them.
Yeah.
And then it's every fucking time.
Every night. And it
it's
gets
like,
kind of
bro,
annoying.
if you made that well, you can do another one, bro.
That's
what don't want to. You're not looking forward to sucking again.
That's why I kind of look up to. I mean, I don't think I would do it because I'm not that kind of guy. But for people who do improv and like go that route, it's more easy for them just because every night they're not doing the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're building something from scratch, which is so cool.
Spencer does that a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's great at that's that crowd work.
Improv. Yeah,
he'll see one thing that happened in the crowd or one thing on the way there, and he'll expand it.
Yes.
He'll expand how he can do it, and it's funny and it's great.
I've seen him do really well doing that, and but I mean, eventually that you can't,
you got to build something.
You can't you can't do your career off that. But that's something I wish I had more of. I don't like. I'm really good at like using what other comedians say in their sets.
Yeah,
like whatever the guy said before me.
Yeah,
I can work off that.
That's good though, because then they're engaged and they feel. Everybody, especially if the crowd knows that comic, it's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's so like sometimes the only time I really engage the crowd, like for crowd work, is if somebody's being an asshole. Yeah. Like, I don't know, the guy, it'll be a biker guy at a bar and he's like fucking raising hell or being obnoxious. And I'll be like, hey, let me guess, daddy issues or meth?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, it's a weird mix of the two.
A little bit of both of that.
There's a little bit of both of that going on, man. Yeah. There you go. That's cool. Hope that works out for you.
You and your dad do meth? That's it? Okay, cool.
That's awesome, man.
That's great. Yeah.
And then I just go to go back to my set, just try to engage them a little bit. But I'm really, really impressed with how like Andre Ricks or how Spencer and them, that style of comedian who just fucking riff off the crowd for an hour.
And it's like, I know because he always talks about how he doesn't like doing new stuff for like shitty open mics, which I get. You know what I mean?
But come on, Spencer says that?
I've heard him say that. Yeah.
Oh, what a douchey thing to say, bro.
What a piece of shit.
He's an open micer. That's only people that deserve to hear the dumb things that come out of his mouth. I don't want to waste my shit.
Well, I think he's talking about
the paid shit. The paid shit?
It will not like
have you even done Spencer Kevins? Have you even done a paid show, bro?
Bro,
Get out of here.
Come at us, bro.
Come at us, bro. This man Kevin. That dirty little swamp man, dude.
He's such a swamp man, dude.
We went fishing. We went fishing.
Yeah.
You heard me. I don't know if you heard me say this at that open mic. I saw Spencer's balls way more than we caught fish.
No, yeah.
And
That's
we
easy.
caught a lot of fish.
Dude didn't wear pants.
He didn't wear pants.
He didn't wear pants.
Every
Shorts,
time I look
nothing.
over, I'm like, bro, hey, dude, we've had this conversation.
Just put him
You
in.
have to put pants on.
I know. He's just a free dude. He's just a free dude.
But not in like a good way. Because some people are free, and I'm like,
It's
I
beautiful.
support that. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Do your thing.
He's got that.
It's nasty.
Have you seen it?
I'm thankfully no.
Oh, it curves.
It
to
curves.
that
Balls curve, man.
Balls curve. You wouldn't think that they curve.
It looks like a topographical map of Asia.
And then one
There's
is
bumps
so
everywhere.
Weighty. It's so weighty on one side.
God.
And then it's like, do you only have one? And then
one big one.
a big one.
You get one huge one.
Yes. It's just getting all the blood flow.
Chicks love
the
it.
The other one just got nothing to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be a medical issue. We
It
have
might
to talk
be.
to him
I don't
about
know.
that.
I know. Just burning our bro's balls.
Oh,
God,
dude.
it's a whole thing.
It's just a bad deal.
Yeah.
It's definitely a nightmare. So why Austin?
Oh, that's a good question.
What made you came to Austin to do comedy?
I'll tell you.
So what is it?
That is definitely a huge part of it. I'll tell you. 3 years ago, I drove across country with my brother and my dad, and we hit up every major city. And I always knew, like, across, not every, of course, but like the big ones.
Yeah.
And
like the Tenacious D thing.
kind of the Tenacious D, literally every Hollywood on the way. We don't know which one it is. But we and like we went to Denver, we went to like your Nashvilles and like all those the spots they say you got to go to.
Yeah.
And we were only in Austin for one night, and I just remember being like, as soon as we left it, I was like, this is where I want to live. Just the vibe for me just felt so awesome. And we went to Dirty Six with my dad, and we just we saw some like reggae band, and it was just like, I loved it. Like I had never been, I don't know what it was. I didn't even know what Dirty was. I couldn't tell you what we did the next day.
Yeah.
But now looking back at it, I was like, I can't believe we hit that on a crowded night. The Snake Man's trying to rile us. The Snake Man, and I just loved it, dude. Everything about it. And
it's a disgusting place to go every weekend, but it is fun to go. We didn't go to Dirty Sixth.
No.
We went to
West Six.
West Six. Okay.
We went to
West
Buford's.
Six,
Yeah.
And a couple nights ago, it was a blast. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was great.
But West Six, or Dirty Six, I like once a year, maybe. Maybe.
Which is funny that I went there with my dad and my brother.
know.
But we just killed it. We had so much fun. Yeah. And I knew that Austin was a great place, like just like an artsy city, kind of. You know what I mean? And I hadn't done as much research as I should have, but like I'm so glad I came here because doing stand up in DC, like it's great. It's a great place to like you can kind of make money there, but it's hard to start because there aren't as many open mics. Like in Austin, you can easily hit up 2 or 3 for maybe if you really hustle a night, and that's just like not a real thing in DC. Like you have to know the guys before they're like. You got to bring people. You got to bring 4 or 5 people like the first couple times just to get in. Yeah. And I remember like one of the first nights I came here, I went to like Cherrywood in North Austin. And I remember it was like, is it okay I didn't bring anybody? And they're like, no, we just need you. We just need you. And I just like,
well, you're gonna talk, right?
You're gonna do stand up. Yeah,
that's what we need.
And I just thought that was like the most.
Some bars they'll make you pay for a drink if you're not buying drinks.
Yeah.
I've had hosts when I started at least come up to me and say like, hey, that's you. Oh man. We have to cut that one out of the podcast.
No, that's what they said.
That's what they said. They said, achoo.
Achoo.
And I was like, I don't know how to talk that, man. What is that? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
And he's like, oh, sorry, it's ketamine. What I meant was you need to buy a couple drinks. Just kind of help the bar out a little bit and, whatever. It's cool.
But I just like the atmosphere. I don't know. I love the friends I've met. I just think there are a lot of open people.
How long so you and I thought y'all let me tell you a story about y'all's group. So we were doing a lot of sets at the ROMO Room, right?
Yeah.
And so Rob, I knew a lot of people. Rob didn't really know anybody, and so he was kind of like, "Hey, you know people, tell people about us or whatever." And so the only time I ever saw any one of you, you were all always together.
Yeah.
I made the assumption that y'all were just like that. You are a friend group, right?
We're a good friend group. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good friend group.
Yeah.
And I assumed that y'all were roommates. I really didn't know, but I just talked. Spencer, we referred to y'all as Spencer's group.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that so much.
Miles is like, I fucking hate
Dude,
this.
I would prefer any other
it's-
member to be the group name.
He's the loudest.
He's the loudest.
He's the loudest.
He's
He's
a
the most
charming,
obnoxious
nicest guy, but it's just like, ugh.
I don't know about nicest. He's the most obnoxious. He's got the sweatiest feet.
It's so sweaty.
So sweaty,
So
bro.
sweaty, dude.
Oh.
I can only
He wears
imagine him
two
having
socks.
sex, dude. Oh my god, dude.
Do you think he has to wear socks during
Dude,
sex?
I guarantee you
Is
he
he
has
one
to
of those
crank
guys?
up the AC in his apartment to like
And
40
he's from
degrees.
Seattle,
He's
too,
from
you know?
Seattle, man.
Oh.
His body is a slip and slide.
His
Like,
body is like slipping.
oh my
sliding
god,
Texas.
dude.
It's
Fucking-
so annoying, man. Have you seen him do sets at the ROMO room?
I've seen, yeah,
So
I've
like
been there.
the lamp is like directly
He-
on him, and he's just like during his set.
Oh my
he just
god,
looks like a nervous little.
just
Nelly.
creating body
just-
condensation.
oh.
It's just so
He's just- we call it the
throwing
splash zone.
Yeah,
The
definitely
first
splash
row
zone.
is a splash zone.
Free Willy,
We
man.
give them free. We give them free those ponchos
Mhm.
to the people in the crowd.
Perfect.
Does the set. Yeah.
Dude. Great guy, sweaty, great guy. I mean, this is coming from great's.
It's a healthy word. I know you're trying to be nice to him or whatever, but
I mean, it's coming from me because
Yeah.
I'm a sweaty guy too.
yeah.
But it's good to see when you meet somebody who's sweatier than you.
Oh,
and
for
it's
sure.
just like holy moly.
Ugh. But anyway, enough about Spencer.
Yeah.
So we call that Spencer's, like that Spencer's crew.
Mhm.
Hey, holler at Spencer. Tell him to bring his crew this weekend.
My stomach just is just in knots.
It knots. And
Nuts.
but I saw but so how did y'all become friends? How did y'all all meet? How did the Spencer's crew come assembled?
I remember it was technically one night. It was I remember the first night I met Spencer, it was at Kick Butt. But I remember the crew assembled. It was a great mic. The crew assembled at Cherrywood, which is ironic because that was the first mic I ever did. And a lot of people talk. I love that mic just because.
How long ago was this?
This was, I want to say, like maybe more than 5 months ago.
Okay.
Around that.
Yeah.
And I just remember
I all started around the same time. You, Gina, Miles.
kind of. That's what
Okay,
happened.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And Miles was the last one to come in, but like what a guy. And I remember it was Spencer, Shannon, and Tyler, and they were all sitting down inside the table. And I just finished a set, and they were talking about writing sketches. And then I just sat down because I knew them all,
sketches, not
like sketch comedy.
Oh,
not
okay.
even just like bits on stage, but they were talking about it. And I remember they were writing a sketch about like they wanted somebody to play a cop. And they were like, "Oh, Manetti the cop? It would be so great, you know?"
Yeah.
And like, it kind of just formed in me just joking around right then that night, being a cop and stuff like that, and just playing with like, I can't even really remember what the sketch was about. I don't even think we executed it well or anything, but it was just that
Y'all got
one
a lot
night.
of sketches out there.
We have.
Yeah.
We need to.
Y'all need to have y'all's own little Instagram page. Just post all your sketches. Because it's like I have to go to Gina's,
Mhm.
and then I got to go to Spencer's, or I got to go to Miles to like find like the different sketches. You know, I think the one that y'all did with Gina's,
She had a
that
good
fucking
idea.
Compound.
She
it
hit
could
it.
have been done like
It could have been shorter, maybe. That's the only thing.
that. It needed to be shorter. Or it needed to be lengthier. It needed to be
It
like
was in the
5
middle.
video
It was-
series.
it was definitely a
or
weird
it needed to be
length.
like a little bit shorter.
But she had a good idea when we were jumping on the back of that Tiger King phenomenon that happened. And she wanted it to be the opposite because Doc Antler was the guy who wasn't the main focus of it, but he was the one who had like a sex compound,
harem.
basically. A harem.
Yeah,
Harem.
yeah.
And she wanted to be she had the harem.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
cool, but harem of comics.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
a lot that we could play with that. And it is a good sketch. And it basically just came down to like us hanging out with her just for the pussy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the kick.
It just gets a little bit. It's you can't really tell in the beginning, and then it's like yeah. And then it's just who's getting to sleep with Gina tonight.
But and we get to sleep with her based off who does the best mic in front of her. And she's a good writer, and it's cool. We all have weird dynamics in the group. Yeah,
I think y'all all fit together very well.
we do. Yeah.
It's a good group of guys, man.
It is.
We had dude, that whole fucking fishing trip, that whole weekend was just
Where'd you guys go?
Port Mansfield.
Port Mansfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Went
Ooh.
fishing. Spencer went fishing for the first time, and
Wait, in his life?
he went when he was like 6,
Oh wow.
and Miles had never been.
Dude's from Seattle. I feel like.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, buddy.
It is.
Yeah, nothing like a
Nothing like a cold beer.
Bud Heavy too.
Bud heavy.
Ugh.
Like we know Miles, he's put on some weight.
Yeah, yeah. But so slipped.
Just
He's not even listening. I thought we would get somewhat of a reaction. And it was just cold.
He doesn't give a shit.
It was just cold, man.
Yeah, just the whole weekend, dude. We were thinking of sketches and laughing and bullshitting and just being silly all weekend. It was great.
That's what it is. Just with
I needed it out of the corona.
With the gang, yeah. I know people will look at you when you're around anybody during this time, which I get, but I don't know. I cracked there for a while. I just needed to see. I needed to do comedy, and I needed to see my friends.
Yeah,
you know.
dude.
So I basically was hanging around with that same group. So I think I'm okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay
and I mean, y'all didn't. That's what some people were like. I can't believe they're doing sketch comedy during the during the height of the corona. I think Kerrigan said it yesterday.
Yeah.
He was watching them like, do they not give a fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but they all know that they don't like go hang out with separate people. They all just kind of like
it was us for
hang
a while.
around. Yeah,
that was it.
That was it. You know that you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being around a family. There's groups of 5 people that are in a family,
and that's what we kind of became a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to. I mean,
that's
it's comedy
pretty
family.
Sweet. Yeah,
not to
comedy
get
family.
sincere about it.
Oh, for sure. Let's not get a tearjerkers rolling here.
Mm-mm.
So Austin. So you came here, loved the scene, and just decided like, boom, this is it.
This is it. Yeah, and
Did
I've
you
been
move down
here
here by yourself or with your dad? Or
So,
did your dad?
No. I moved here. I called my best bud. He was living. He's a world traveler. He can't lay his hat in one place for longer.
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah,
you know, exactly. He was in Australia. He was in Australia, and his visa was about to expire. And I couldn't even like call him or anything, so I had to hit him up through Facebook Messenger. And I remember having this like one conversation with him right before his visa was about to expire. And I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm moving to Austin, and I think you should come with me." And it was that easy because he wanted the next spot, and he came with me. And then we drove across country when he came back on like this 10-day bender of just like every place that we wanted to go to, like
golly,
Savannah, New Orleans. I can't even remember Charleston.
Speaking of New Orleans,
Yeah.
let's hear about how you got sex robbed.
So that was
sex robbed in
we were talking about how
Nolans.
we both don't have Venmo, and I used to have Venmo.
Yes.
This is a story. It wasn't the trip when we went to New Orleans. It was 2 months later. It's funny because we had our buddy was getting married, and like 5 days before we went to New Orleans, his fiance came to Austin for a bachelorette party. So we hit up that bachelorette party.
Oh, fuck yeah,
and then we were like, we don't have enough money to go to the bachelor party. And then one of the girls in the bachelor party was like, if you guys don't go, you're losers. Like you got to do the double.
Shit.
You got to double down.
Yeah,
so we drove. We drove like 9 hours to get to New Orleans.
Was it like the next day?
No, it was like the next week.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we drove to New Orleans, and it was like the second night. And we were on Bourbon Street, and it was getting late. And I just remember meeting this girl. Can't even tell you her name.
Oh yeah.
Why would I?
Why
would you? We call her Cinnamon because she's
appropriate
sweet. She's sweet.
I'll
but
call her Beignet.
if you take Beignet,
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Cafe
yes,
de
yeah,
Mall?
I've Cafe de Mall. Oh,
Fuck,
oof.
dude. I had spent some good nights.
Dude.
So I went down there a couple months ago, and like right before the corona hit, and I did a set at a jazz club.
Mhm.
I went down there to see family.
Oh shit.
And then we were there, and then so I looked up on comedy. There's a Facebook group for New Orleans,
Mhm.
and I just boom, and then somebody commented like, if you go to some of these jazz clubs, some of
Do
these
a mic.
bars, and you just ask,
Mhm.
sometimes they'll throw you up.
So in between jazz sets, you
Yes.
did your. That's awesome.
That was cool,
That's
man.
fucking
It was really
cool.
fun. I did the first
Yeah.
night, and then a jazz quartet asked me. They were like, "Hey, you know that you did a good set. We're here tomorrow.
Mhm.
If you want to come out, like we're doing a full show." And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
"Yeah!" I was so pumped about it.
Yeah.
And then they fucking did "Eye of the Tiger" on a full female jazz quartet.
Mm-hmm. Oh shoot.
Did "Eye of the Tiger."
That's awesome.
The crowd just fucking like lost their minds, and then
And then
they're
you
like-
go up.
and then I go up, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to hear some dick jokes?"
Yeah. Go ahead. No, we don't.
Nope.
No, we
I
don't.
was like, "This is weird. There's some air in this thing." I did a joke about a Waffle House, and it just like that was the only
fell.
joke that worked.
Oh.
And then everything else.
They
people
get that.
were just
We
like,
know
"Meh,
that."
meh." And then I compared it to like Whataburger, but like
What's Whataburger?
What's Whataburger? Yeah. And so like that's the Waffle House. Like if you're fucked up at 3 a.m., you go to the Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that they've got their hiring process is kind of like the opposite of an elementary school,
Mm.
where you have to have a felony to work there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then
though.
they
I get
laughed.
that.
It was good. I got the crowd back, but it
It's
was
a
like
joke.
it was a hard like.
It's hard
Have
fought.
you ever listened to like a jazz? Like,
Yeah.
on Bourbon Street. Dude?
Not on
It's just
Bourbon
like-
Street, but
man, your heart's pumping. You just like you feel like you're in New Orleans. It's the
There's a
vibe
good
that you're going
club
with.
here in Austin off 5th Street. It's called the Elephant Room, and
Okay.
they play jazz like late at night. It's pretty tight.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
They're having like trumpet battles,
Mhm.
tambourine
They have
battles.
they have the whole band and stuff like that.
Fuck, that's
and layered.
crazy.
It's really cool.
So you got sex robbed.
So I got sex robbed. I met Cinnamon. It could have been.
Cinnamon.
It couldn't have been later, like 2:00 in the morning, probably.
Wow.
We were at this bar. I think it was called the Cat's Meow, which is a sick bar. If you've ever been to or remember, it's that bar where you do karaoke in front of everybody in the bar.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I met her at the side bar over there, and she came up to me and we started talking. And like within the second sentence, she was like, "You want to fuck me?" And I was just like, I was drunk. It was 2:00 in the morning. It's a bachelor party. We're supposed to get rowdy.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking straight, and I was like, "Of course I do.
We
Of
know you
course,
say.
of
Yes.
course I do."
Yes.
And then like
she was a handsome girl.
she was a handsome girl.
Okay, good.
So what made it not suspicious is she said, "I don't care where we go." She's like, "Where are you staying at?" I'm like, "I'm at an Airbnb with like 6 dudes. I'm not bringing you back there." It wasn't like that's what made it seem okay. I was the one who suggested, God damn me. I was like, let's get a hotel room. I wanted to be fancy as hell.
Yeah.
I'm going
you
to
wanna
cop
be a little
it.
Bougie.
We go there. We hook up. It's great. Everything's awesome. She starts playing Jenny Aoki
Oh, okay, yeah.
and
yeah.
getting me in the mood. We're banging. I said that wrong. Whatever. But I hate her. I can't listen to her ever again. Jahini Aoki.
Iko.
Whatever. I don't
know
like
what
it.
you meant.
I don't like it. And she's bumping it, and it's great, and the sex is awesome. And when we stay up until like it's already so late, like 6:00 in the morning, and I literally just like can't control my eyes and I fall asleep. And I'm not joking. I must have been asleep for maybe 30, 40 minutes because I had this just like sensation in my brain, like wake up, wake up. As soon as I wake up, I'm the only one in the hotel room. She's gone, and so is everything that I own, basically. Thank God she didn't steal my car keys. Thank God she didn't. She stole my phone. She stole my wallet.
Did y'all drive there in your car?
Drove there in my car.
Oh, she could have.
She could
Very
have.
well could have.
She could have. But I
Yeah.
guess like some way she was just like, I'm not gonna make this guy die. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how the fuck we would have gotten back.
But like your wallet, your phone. I don't. What else did you have?
And then she
Your
stupidly,
clothes?
dude, not even thinking about it, like hindsight, not my clothes.
Okay, she left you your shoes and your.
Yeah. I guess everything is just everything that I needed. But I remember she asked me, because we were playing the music on my phone,
Yeah.
and she asked me to change the song, and I had a password, and she was so clever. She saw my password, and she got into it, and then
she
she
knew
got.
what she was doing.
She knew what
She's
she
done
was
that a
doing.
couple
Oh
times.
yeah, she got into my Venmo, and she Venmoed from my account like no joke, like $3,500.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and is there no way to cancel that?
But here's what happened. Thank God for Wells Fargo, and this is where I fucked up. I hit up
'Cause
Wells.
there's a limit.
There's a limit, and it did cut it off, and I had to cut off my card, and I had to cut my credit card. Thank God she didn't take anything from that. But I hit up Wells Fargo, and they reimbursed me like a week later. I love Wells Fargo. But where I fucked up is I didn't go through Venmo, and they got pissed, and they're all weird about it.
Yeah.
So somehow, some way, they think that I owe them $1,000. And I tried to like
Venmo does?
Venmo thinks that.
What?
The math is so frustrating, and I hit up the because I filed a police report, which is
Yeah.
also funny because I filed a police report.
Dude, isn't that great?
It
when you go
was
file a
great, but
police
I was
report
so
and the-
scared, dude.
The
And
police are like, you're a fucking idiot.
that guy literally hit me like the dude from The Hangover. He was like,
Yeah.
I see dudes like you every single day. He was screaming at me, and I'm like, he's like you just banged a hooker, ha ha ha. And I'm like, listen, dude, like no money was exchanged at all. I guess later it was because she robbed me.
Yeah.
But like, I filed a police report. I sent it over them. They're like, we don't give a shit. I was like, I'm not just gonna go through a lawyer to like
Yeah.
pay as much money just to get that the same money back. So I essentially owe them $1,000,
$1,000.
and it's just like,
Jeez Louise.
and I have
dude.
$800 in the account, so I just told them to take that, so they can't like charge me or they can't
Ugh.
take me to court or what. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it sucks, and so now
That's
I'm a PayPal boy.
That's a fucking great story, man. That's a great story. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I've always been like, we were in Vegas, and then like,
Mhm.
you're walking around, and I was talking with this girl, and everything's fine, and we'd already had like a couple of, there's a ton of hookers in
Yeah.
Vegas,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And you're going on a bachelor party, like
Yeah.
they know you,
Yeah.
they know what you're doing, and I'd watched my buddy. I mean, he was drunk. We're playing craps,
Mhm.
and we just kind of like watched him, and he'd run out of money, and so he was just kind of like loitering around, and we saw him like talking with a girl, and we're like, she didn't like look like a hooker, you know?
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, we saw him start like walking away, and I was like, what the?
Yeah.
I like haul ass over there, and I'm like, hey man, what's going on? He's like, oh, me and my friend here, I just met her. We're gonna go. She likes this coffee that's right here. She said it's really good. I'm just gonna grab some coffee.
Red flag, bro.
I was like, look, dude, you can get coffee from the people here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should stay. You should stay.
You stay with us. Yeah.
And then she got like a little upset, and then she was like, look, who is this guy? Like I was like, oh, this is my buddy. You know, like we're friends, and yada. Like got him back to the table, and so like we were pretty attentive to it. And then like it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking back, and the girl was like, hey, would you like some company? And like just didn't even get through my head. And I was like, yeah, I'm walking down here. Where's your hotel? And she's like, oh, I'm over there. Sweet. We go walking, and we're just talking and having a good time. And then she was like, well, you want to grab something to eat? I'm like, no, I'm not really hungry. I'm just, thinking about heading up to the bedroom. And she was like, okay, cool. Yeah. And kept walking with me. And we got like to the elevator. I was like, are you staying in this hotel? She's like, I can be. And I was like, oh. I was like, no, this isn't what I'm doing. Like, hey, this is cool,
I'm a good
whatever.
Christian man.
I'm a Christian.
Get out of here,
man,
lady.
You Jezebel. And, but they're just everywhere, man.
They are.
I mean, there's playing cards. Have you seen that?
Yeah. There's like little tiny Asian women handing out playing cards. They don't even speak English.
They
You
don't.
want some? You want
They're
some?
just sticking in your hand. Dude, I collected like a shoebox full.
Yeah.
And then I get home.
It's collectibles, you know.
They're the best.
It's grown-up baseball cards. It's just hookers.
And so I'll take cards to work, and then I'll like stick them in my buddy's car.
Yeah.
And then it just is like his joke. They'll pull it out and be like, "What the fuck?" My buddy's wife found one.
Ooh.
And then he had to call me. It was like 2 a.m. They had just got back from the bar.
Yeah.
She was looking for cigarettes or something, and she pulled that out.
Oof.
And all I get is
tough.
a phone call, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Click. And he's like, you got to explain to my wife. It's your deal. You put those cards in my car. I was like, what cards? And he was like, don't fuck with me right now, bro. I was like, all right, dude, they're my cards.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
it's a gag.
And then, like, dude, his wife did not like me after that.
I get, yeah.
I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah,
I'm a comedian. What are you
what are we looking at? I'm a ratchet guy.
Off, man. I never turn it off. You know?
No, definitely.
So what are some of your short-term goals for comedy? I mean, assuming you're looking to the future, selling out arenas and shit, but like
short-term girls.
Short-term, what are you doing? Like, is it just you're trying to hit as much open mics?
I wanted to. That's so. Yeah, basically, my goal was to just increase how much I would go up a week. That was my big thing. Before the Rona, like I was going like 10 times a week, and I was really happy about that.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's
grinding.
That's grinding.
Just grinding.
For Austin, like I know, like New York comedians. If you hit 2 mics a week, like you're not really doing it. Or if you're hitting 2 mics a night, you're not really grinding.
Yeah.
Because you can hit like 6 or 7 in a night.
But the thing is with Austin, it's like I'd be hitting maybe like 3 or 4 one night and then 1 the next because that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to text it. I mean, it's so you got to set up a schedule.
Yeah.
I would have to sit down on Sundays and be like, okay, I'm texting Andre. Hey, can I get on the first 10 here? Can I get on I need to be in the halfway point on this one, and I need to be on the last at Buzzmill, or whatever. So
but what I want is like, not to cut you off, I want a good 25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's really what I'm aiming for. That's my
So you have a few 10-minute sets.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah. And
good. I don't know. Yeah.
Did you do any shows prior?
Yeah, I've been doing shows. Okay. Yeah. It was pretty cool though. Like this is another crazy Manetti story. Is like the beginning of the year, actually on Black Friday, I got hit by a car. My body got hit by a car.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was a drunk driver. I was on a scooter. I shouldn't have been in where I was in the street.
You were on a scooter?
I was on a scooter. I wasn't drunk at all, but this drunk driver ran through a red stop sign.
Like in the parking lot?
No, just like in East where I lived. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
And he just drove off, and I was just like, there was nobody around.
It was a hit and run.
It was a hit and run. I was dazed. I had like kind of a concussion. I didn't remember anything really about the car. Just that it was like a black mid-sized sedan. That's all I can remember.
There any cameras at the street?
No,
or nothing?
No.
Nobody got it.
Jeez
Louise, bro.
Dude, and then like I just couldn't do comedy for like a week and a half because I could barely walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you got hit by a car.
Yeah. And I dude, bad. Not to like toot my own horn, but I walked like 10 blocks home after that. I walked my own body back home.
Golly.
And
didn't call the hospital.
Didn't call the hospital or anything like that. I walked around and I eventually did. And the doctor was just like, it's not broken. You're fine. If anything, it's maybe a slight meniscal tear, which is insane because this guy was going fast. Like I matrixed it.
Like,
no
did
joke.
You hit on top of.
Here's what happened. The car, as it was turning, I instinctively threw most of the weight of the scooter on the car. So I I did that and I rolled off. And like literally the only thing that really got fucked up was my left knee, and it was swollen for a couple of days.
I mean, hit your head on the pavement.
And my head on the pavement, everything, concussion, walking home. But yeah, and I'm just rehabbing it myself because I've torn ACL, MCL, playing football growing up and stuff like that. And I just,
I mean, it helps to go to the doctor, but once you get like a general idea of what you need to do,
so I'm good now. But the first mic I went to after coming back was at the parlor room, and I legitimately remember like hobbling up to the mic. And like just like had so much emotion and just had so much in me. I murdered, dude. And that was like the first like paid show.
Hit that little niche.
Just one guy was in there, and that was like the first paid show I got afterwards because of that. It's a cool story.
Yeah, that's for sure, man.
Just like comedy is worth it.
Yeah,
like,
it is, dude. It's when you needed it the most.
It's totally when I needed it the most.
That's
man.
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that's a good story. So what's your writing process like?
I don't write shit down. If it's like a complicated joke, I'll put it in my notes in my phone. Yeah. But I don't. There's something with me that I can't physically sit down and write. Yeah. I drive a lot, and that's where my best jokes come. Okay. Like I'll be like listening to the music, and I'll have a process. Like I know this is what I would consider writing. Yeah. Not like writing, but I'll have like music on like a little bit, and then I'll just be thinking about my life and shit like that. And
is it like a memorization, or do you put like a tagline down?
I'll just memorize a tag.
Okay.
And it's like maybe not the best way to go about doing it.
It's the way
that I know how to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've tried to write, and I've done it, and sometimes it helps. But for me, it's just like I just have everything here. Yeah. I just have everything in this Rolodex.
Good memorization. Like I think Bill Burr does that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of comedians that just like, I mean, they might like put things down so that they can remember that tagline. Mm-hmm. But and that blows my mind because I have to like, once I write a joke or I get something, I get a premise, then I like full form write it, and then I'll go back and listen to it and see if I changed anything, and then change it back in that joke. Like I'm like a very physical. Like,
you need that pen to paper.
I need pen to paper to memorize.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I mean, I can riff off stuff and I can remember the deal, and eventually, when I get that set done, I can. I mean, I don't have to look at my paper anymore. I don't have to read off a paper or anything, but I have to. In order for it to really stick in my brain, I have to write that joke.
That makes sense. Yeah. For me, I don't have a good memory, but I have a good memory for like my own shit. You know what I mean? Like something that I came up with for some reason, like I'll just remember that. Like not every single word, but I know the crucial words. Like the words that you need to say to make the joke hit.
So that's
like when and where.
Like, when I do word for word, it's not actually probably when I perform it, it's not actually
word for word. Yeah. Which is what I tried to do when I first did stand up, and I remember I just looked like a robot. You know what I mean? Because I was reading the words.
There's got to be some kind of a flow because like that's what the majority of the crowd thinks that you just go up there and you're just riffing. Like that's where the vibe that you want to do. Is it? I've never like done this before. Like not that you haven't done it before, but like what you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth is like right then. You know,
there,
that gets the most like I think it gets the most attention on stage. But yeah, dude, it took me a while to figure out, like, I did that, like, where I was like, no, I've got to write. And I would write, and then I'd have a really good joke. And then once I put it on paper and, like, I tried to stick to it, I'd get on stage, and it's like, it's not working.
It's not working.
Like, what the fuck? But then I just, had to go back and, like, okay, you don't have to go word for word. It's not every word that's doing it. It's the little words. It's the words that,
yeah. And it's the way you say it. Like we all say it. It's the cadence. Yeah. And it's like, I know what I do is more so is like, I'll write where the pauses need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's for me, a lot of my comedy comes from like definitely the timing. Yep. And I like how I can like stop myself and then go back again. Yeah. And then just like, or I love doing this where like I'll tell a joke and then I'll wait 3 seconds for the audience to laugh. Because it's like, it's not like they need it, but it's like something about that silence, like the drift of it makes it funnier.
Okay, yeah, for sure, yeah.
It's like
when I don't know. So I think there's just like natural. I didn't really pay attention to pauses and shit until I came up with that like I don't know if you know it, but the ketchup joke. I do a ketchup joke.
I kind of remember this.
Yeah. So the first one I didn't realize like how big of it makes a difference when you just pause.
Yeah.
Or like, so I did this ketchup bit and I loved it, but I would always just like yell, or I would just say like, it's fucking ketchup, you know?
Yeah.
And then it got like a significantly bigger laugh when I brought the microphone away and then I yelled at the crowd. Mm-hmm. Like I did that one time and it just destroyed him. And I was like, why does that make that big of a difference?
And
like, it does.
It's just like science. I don't know. It's comedy science, man.
I don't think there's an exact science.
Mm-mm.
Like you can't, that's why I've heard people like, oh, you need to go on what's that app, Ozzy, that you go on to learn things? The Tradesman or something?
Tinder?
That's
where you learn things? Yeah. Grinder.
That's where
Why
Ozzy
did I
gets
say
his
Grinder?
education.
God damn it.
But there's this app that you can do that, like LeBron James is on it, and like a few other people are on it, and they go through and they like teach you how to do stuff.
Masterclass. Yeah.
And so somebody was like, you need to go on there and look at the comedy, and then I was like, but I mean, you can listen to somebody really, but you can't teach.
You can't teach somebody. Yeah.
You can't teach a class on comedy.
No.
The only way you might get a little bit out of it, but the only way you're gonna do it is finding out how you do it.
How you do it.
And that's just by going to and fucking up at mics.
Going up yourself. You know, I mean, a lot of people when
self-taught.
When I tell people that I do stand up, they're like, "Oh, I would love to do it, but I never could. I can never do it." And like, you fucking could do it. You could literally do it. I know you would do it once, maybe do okay, and then never do it again. Yeah. You know,
you have to have, in order to embarrass yourself that much and that like intensely, because it's an intense embarrassment.
It is. Yeah.
You've got to love it. Like it has to be a passion you have. Like, you know, you see comics that do it, but they're there just to like be in a community. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. They want friends.
They want friends. Yes. And it's a good way to make friends.
Definitely.
If that's what you're for, I'm not mad at you for that. You know?
Yeah.
Like you're fucking stealing my stage time. But whatever.
Yeah.
And so now there's 40 people on this mic when realistically we could get away with 20.
Yeah. Yeah. Like should get away with 20.
Should get away with 20. And so and then that could mean more, you know, like we don't have to do 3 minutes, we could do 5 minutes, whatever. I'm not mad about it. But there's so many people that's like either the same thing or they just talk about their day.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can do in comedy, but like you didn't have a funny part of your day.
You didn't do it. Yeah.
Like what do you just, I mean, it's like a therapy session, but not in a productive way. Like it's super annoying.
I mean, okay, I do think like comedy is therapeutic for a lot of us who do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a bad it's bad if you like that's the only reason you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you've had like a midlife
it's
crisis
in like a I don't know how you say that, but like in a it's just a thing that happens.
Yes.
Like it
helps you get out stuff.
The reason.
But like if you're going through a divorce, you know, and you lost your job or whatever, don't start comedy then. You know? Like maybe I'm saying the wrong things, but that's my point of view. Like
yeah, I could see you needing a life change and you're I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it for people. Especially like if you've gone through a major like shift in your life, like you probably don't need to do comedy because you're gonna sink further into depression before you start fucking climbing back up.
But I feel like people see like, you know, the greats who have done it who could talk about dark subjects and be like, I want to be like that. But you can't start like that. No. You know what I mean? You got to build years. So much sweat, blood, and tears have to come before you can literally talk about your most vulnerable subjects.
Like 6 to 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I got buddies of mine that are like, dude, hey man, like what, like when I talk about, you know, doing comedy, like eventually I'm gonna quit my job and do comedy. This is what I want. As soon as I can make like $45,000-$50,000 a year.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
I'm
going on the road. I'm touring. I'm whatever it looks like. As soon as I can make the 45 to 50 a year, I'm done.
That for me,
like physical labor.
Everything else that comes after that is great.
Yeah.
But like for me, I think my goal is just that I can one day, you know, pay everything off of laughter.
Yeah.
You know, be able to say that, you know what I mean? Go pay my taxes and have to write everything off of base of what I did through comedy. Like oh my God, dude. Man, that's just like gets me cool. That gets me excited.
Hell yeah, dude. So what was the first joke that you did that worked? What was the first joke that you put together and it was like, oh, okay, this is something I can build on, you know?
That's a good one. I could think
the first joke you were proud of.
The first joke that I was really proud of, and I this is the only joke I've really carried on since I first started. Yeah. And a lot of people do know me about it, like still in Austin as that, is my like charcuterie joke. It's like it's so stupid and simple. It's like I wrote this maybe the first year I did comedy. I was like, I like using big words to impress my friends. The only problem is only half the times I know what those words mean. So I have to gauge off their faces if I use them correctly. I'll be like, you know, Ryan was acting real cerebral last night. And I'll be like, or, you know, my real home run hitter is, sorry I'm late, guys. Traffic was a real beat charcuterie. And then I explain what it is. And like, I don't know. I wrote that so early on, but like, it's just that one joke that I could never throw away. Yeah. Because I like saying that word. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's lame. And like, I talk about it a lot, but it is like, I've had comics come up to me and be like, I don't know if you know Emilio Babbitt. He runs a mic. He does on Cherrywood.
Oh, okay.
He
That's
came
pretty south. I try not to It's a long fucking drive.
He came up to me
3
once,
minutes.
and that suck. He came up to me once. He was like, "Dude, I got to apologize to you." I was like, "For what?" He was like, "I used one of your jokes to make my dad laugh."
Oh,
and I was like, "What joke?"
okay,
I was like, "What
dude.
joke?"
Hell
He was
yeah,
like, "The
bro.
charcuterie joke, man." And I was just like, "Dude, it's awesome. That's kind of what I want." You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
when Spencer told me one time that he did after that I was doing the rocket ship blowjob joke.
mhm.
Like one of the I was like, I really love this joke. I really like this joke. Yada yada. And I was like building on it and trying to. I fucked up. I took a good 3-minute joke.
Yeah.
And I fucked it up by making it 7.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah. You just want to make it longer.
I was like, man, I need a good 10-minute set right now. And I was like, I've got this good joke. I can make it better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can throw some fat in here and I can lengthen it out.
Yeah.
And it just tore that whole joke apart.
Yeah.
But he came to me the next day and I was almost ready to just like not throw the joke away, but just like I just lost like faith in it. And he came up and he was like, dude, my dad loves that joke.
Yeah.
And he was like, I could not wait to get home and be like, Dad, check this new joke out. This buddy of mine does it. And I was like, all right, cool. There it is. And then I, shortened it back up, and it's one of my favorite jokes.
Those are the victories for us. You know, us like, I don't know what you call us minnows or whatever. But just hearing shit like that.
Little
tadpoles. That's the shit that keeps, not me going. It's not like I need that, but it's just like the things that I hold back and like, I have that at least in my resume.
Yeah,
I'm changing other people's perspective of me based off 1 or 2 things I've said, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It
gives you faith that, what you're doing is, worth it. Just because, but honestly, like we've seen so many mics where people laugh and it's like, that wasn't, like, why did you laugh?
Yeah.
And so it makes you think, like, are they just laughing at that shit because it's funny, or are they laughing just because, I don't know, what am I, like, I just did something with my face weird, It's like, I don't know. And then somebody tells you that and you're like, okay.
I've done that too.
I'm a
where
good writer. I'm a decent writer.
There's a stressful moment where nobody's getting laughs.
Yeah.
And like, I almost like will laugh just so that person doesn't kill themselves on stage. I've definitely given out sympathy laughs and I regret it. And I probably am still going to do it. But like, I think that's just the nature of me. I can't fully let somebody just kill themselves on stage.
I know, dude. Well, so, I don't know. Sometimes so there's a horrible thing that we all do, but when certain comics go on stage, you've never seen them like do well, but they bomb so bad that it makes you laugh. I laugh some of the hardest. There's a comic, and we both know who he is. That I'm not calling me loud. No. But there's a comic we both know who he is. That every time he gets on stage, did you have to say it? Every time he gets on stage, everybody, it's not Ozzy, but yeah. So every time he gets on stage, everybody goes outside to smoke. I stay for every single set because it's the funniest thing that I've ever seen. Like he just like just the dumbest jokes, dude, and they don't work. And then he's just like, it's just like every week, and the fucking balls on that guy.
I mean, I tip my cap off to the people like that who go up every single fucking night and like never get laughs.
It's not.
What kind of sick sadomasochist are you that you need that much pain in your life to keep going back every single night?
It's almost as
fucking weirdo.
At some point, you should be able, just by pure coincidence, to say something that's funny, right?
You just fall into a funny joke.
You fall into a funny joke at some point. Anybody can.
It's amazing that you can't. How are you?
It blows my mind.
Dude, if you walk up to the plate 100 times, one time the pitcher's going to walk you. You know what I mean?
One time.
Not even this, like not even
everybody's
going to
be super drunk, and you could say, because you've been at mics where you said a decent joke, maybe something, or the person before you said something, and the crowd's on like a high, and you just say Jello.
Yeah.
Like literally, I could walk.
You
up
could say,
and just
I know that
Jello.
exactly, and then they're laughing.
And then they're laughing. It's just like, you're not like, this mic is not productive for me now, but like I'm just gonna bullshit and get through it, And but it's like nothing ever. Oh, it makes me laugh in the heart. Like there's a part of my soul that's black, and that's where that laughter's coming from. Yeah, I don't like it about myself, but
no, I mean it's for me. It's definitely. I know that feeling though. For me, it's more so when I see a good comic bomb. That's what gets me hard.
When I see fucking Spencer
bomb,
or something.
oh my god, oh my god, thank you.
And I won't laugh.
I'll
hold it inside.
Dig that dagger inside even further.
You're a piece of shit.
Shithole.
People like Spencer need it though. I need it.
Oh yeah,
you need it. Like if you're doing well and you're popping off, like so we talk about writing process. One of them that I have is I either have that annoying fucking night at 1 a.m. that I think of a good joke.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, shit, I write it down. And then just my brain starts going in that direction. And then I'll write 5 or 6 premises and I'm going to get super excited. And then I look at my phone, it's 5 in the morning. I'm like, God freaking damn it.
Yeah.
Like I fucked up this whole night.
Yeah.
But whatever it was worth it. I got 5 jokes, you know, that people will giggle at and it's going to be worth it in my life. You know,
like your brain is just racing. You're not ready to do anything else but that mode. You know what I mean?
You can't go to sleep. The other time, I think 3 of the best jokes that I've written, I wrote them after I bombed.
Yeah.
Like I bombed at Tramps, I bombed at the fucking Buzzmill or at the fucking Luster Pearl. I remember bombing so hard at the Luster Pearl.
Yeah, that's an
an easy bomb. It's an easy bomb, but it was still really bad. It was a good crowd. There was people in there.
Yeah.
And everybody just stared at me.
Yeah.
Like just stared, and I was like, nothing? You can't get nothing
just
out of that.
Give me anything.
Not even a giggle. Okay, well, fuck it. Look, here's the next joke, assholes. You know?
We've all done that where we turn on the crowd.
Oh, I know, dude. Like, what are you going to do? It's weird. It's awkward.
You, man.
Like, I spent a lot of goddamn time on that. I understand it's not funny. Huh?
You ever seen someone melt down?
Not a full
I haven't seen
meltdown.
a full
Not a
meltdown.
full meltdown.
I've seen people that I thought melt down, and then as soon as they walked off the stage, they're like, hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
I was like, you just... And he was like, I was just bullshitting, man. I was like, I didn't know what to do, so I just started, like, trying to get a reaction out of him, something, you know?
Yeah.
And so... I want to make him feel something, so I'm like, maybe if I scream at him, they'll do something.
I felt the flop sweat. I felt forgetting my lines, but I've never had that moment where I wanted to just like end my career of it, you know? Because you can never really hit that.
You can. People do.
Yeah,
I guess, but
I won't.
I walked out.
Not.
Yeah, I won't.
I hope not.
And I think we're at the point now. I think after about a year, you get to the point where you have so many jokes in your back pocket that if you want to, for a confidence builder, you can just pop back and they're just in the back of your head. At least they're all in mine. The back of my head, like I know at any point I can do a complete 180 and talk about putting a finger in my butt, and they're usually always gonna laugh.
Yeah.
So if I need that confidence builder, if I need it, it's there. But if I don't have to, like I'll just keep bullshitting through. I walked outside of that bar. I sat in my truck for like 4 hours till like 1 a.m. It was like 10 when it happened.
Yeah.
So when I'm like, I'm not leaving this goddamn parking lot until I find a good joke.
Yeah.
And just going through and just like writing. And I came up with the ketchup bit. That's where I came up with my ketchup bit. Super excited. I got to do it the next night at the ROMO Room. It did really well. And I was like, all right, I'm back.
That's the best feeling when you just can't wait to tell a joke.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You're almost
like,
nervous about it because you don't know if you could tell it the way you heard it in your head.
Yes.
You want to do the joke that you know is good justice.
Yes.
I remember I had this joke that I've never been able to tell good, but I've always wanted to tell it in Austin. And it's like I had this dream where I was walking down the street and I just saw this dog explode. It's just boom, like a firework. And I just thought like,
Fuck.
and I just
Is that a true story?
No, it's just a dream.
Oh, okay.
It's just a dream.
You said it was a dream. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it.
I was like, what
The
happened?
But like, and I kind of wanted to make it work because Austin is so dog friendly that I wanted to like make people laugh about an exploding dog. You know,
it's a good premise.
It's a good premise, and like I just have every time I've just gotten not booze, but just like you can just see just the anger in people. Why would you even think of that?
Yeah.
Why is your brain coming up with this disgusting?
So what if you did it from an angle of like you know, like hippies say that your dreams have something to tell you. You know, I'm gonna shit on the hippies, but they're fucking hippies.
They're fucking hippies.
So like say if you're walking in your dream, you're I don't know like driving down the road. Like I'll tell there's a friend of mine that's like into crystals and shit.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, dude, I had this crazy dream about a spider, and it was like chasing me down the road, and then I jumped off a bridge into the lake, and she's like, you are about to get a big money change in your life. Yeah. Like that's exactly what that means. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, look. And she's got her phone and she's like, spider means money. You're worried about the about financial issues, but you're gonna jump off the edge and it's going to land into a good decision. And she's like, did you die at the end of the dream? I was like, no, I was just swimming around. She's like, oh, then you're fine. Then it means you'll be swimming around in money. And I'll be like, what?
Damn.
So what if you took it for like by that angle, like I thought about it, like I went to
what
look
does
it up.
mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
And it ends up meaning like something stupid or crazy. I don't know. That's where I thought you were going with it.
No.
Yeah.
No, not even that. Not even that. I just want to say the sentence. I saw an exploding dog. Just because the visceral thought of like getting it into people's minds of just like, oh, there's a poodle. Oh, there's not. There's not a poodle anymore.
Now
I just love that.
A couple bones laying on the ground.
Yes.
And some curly
just like
hair.
a dog popping. It's great.
So what is an embarrassing story you have like that made you like so I think that comics, a lot of us like grew up with either you know, when shit happened to us when we were a kid, something like maybe something traumatic or shit would just happen. So you would either like you found a way to make it funny.
So okay, when I was in high school, I was aggressively a virgin. You know what I mean? Just so angrily mad about my virginity that I needed any attention.
Okay.
I needed any attention.
Yeah.
So I made up this rumor. I'm such a sick fuck. I don't know why. I made up this rumor.
Oh yeah.
That I
We all
woke
knew
up
that
with
guy.
2 fingers up my butt. I don't know why. I was a sick fuck. I wanted attention. And
With your fingers?
my finger. Well, it's not a true story.
Okay, yeah, no, for sure. But when you were
In the
telling a
2 finger-
story,
Yeah.
you were like, dude, I woke up last night.
Dude,
had
I'm
my
sorry. I
own
thought I
fingers
was
up my
dreaming about
ass.
fingering this chick, and it was my butt. You know, I just told one friend.
Oh,
and then like the
Jesus.
whole it caught fire, dude.
Oh.
I remember being in health class,
Yeah.
and then like some dude in the class was like, "Can we tell Mr. Frank? Can we tell Mr. Frank?" I'm like, "No, please
Did the
don't."
story get crazier?
Yes, it get crazier
Like
and
this-
crazier, dude. And then they told
Dude, Did
him,
you hear Manetti
Yeah.
woke up and he was like, or did you hear Manetti likes fisting? Like, what? No,
"Do that," and like, and I for a while there, I was just 2 fingers. I was 2 fingers. Manetti.
that's where 2 fingers
Yeah.
Manetti comes in.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
But I owned it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
Like
have
you're not gonna
that
hurt
could have
me.
destroyed
That could have
somebody.
destroyed me, dude.
Yes.
And
yeah.
you know, I came out of that unscathed. You know,
I guess.
I hope so. I don't know. There's probably
You
some
came
people.
with, you got comedy out of it.
I got comedy out of it.
Yeah.
I made one person laugh. I don't care. But I think that's just like
Dude.
that's me though, man. Like I don't care. I'll embarrass the shit out of me. You know what I mean? But I can make that into a weapon. You know, I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Have you made a joke about that?
not on stage or anything
Okay,
like that.
well,
I
yeah.
should. I
Well,
should.
Save that shit for your special.
Yeah.
Just call
Yeah.
it Kevin 2 Fingers Manetti.
Yeah. It's a why. I don't know why. I just wanted attention.
Oh man, that is great. But
Yeah.
that's the you could have said like, dude, there was this girl from because so many guys did that. You know
Mhm.
those guys that they were like, yeah, I fucked this girl at Stony Point, man.
I think they would have
like
known.
the school over.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I think they
But
would've-
always
yeah.
did. I was like, okay, cool, bro. And then like, are you seeing her anymore? And like, oh no,
No,
man. And then you
yeah.
show up to like a Stony Point party, and
Yeah.
you're like, hey, what was that girl's name? Stephanie? And he's like, yeah,
She-
I can't remember if it was Stephanie or Steph.
She
or-
moved recently.
I think she took off, man. I didn't really hear from her again. Like, okay, bro. All right. Well, now that's what that is.
But yeah, that's the chink in my armor. I'm a better man.
Yeah.
I'm a better man. For
Better
it.
man for it.
You can't.
I don't know why
peg
it
me
was
down.
embarrassing, but when I was a kid, I'm just not the same kind of, but
Mhm.
they used to call me mayonnaise ass.
Okay.
And so it was from, I was in like a freshman in high school and we went fishing. So we would go fishing in the bay.
Yeah.
Me and my grandpa and his friends, he had like a bunch of drinking buddies. We'd all go fishing like every weekend
Yeah.
during the summer, all summer long. And I was wearing like short shorts, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we were what we do is we get out of the boat
Mhm.
and then you go walking, right? It's in like in saltwater bay. And so and we're walking along and there's a bunch of jellyfish in there at certain times. You just hope you avoid them. Like I've only ran into like 3 times out of the probably 450 times I went fishing there.
Yeah.
And so, but you're wading along. You know how like your shorts kind of blow up?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got like that bubble?
Yeah.
Well, a jellyfish ran along
Oh.
my leg and I felt that bubble and it kind of popped up this leg and I just kind of shook it out
Yeah.
and I like stretched my pants and then it went into this side. So like the tentacles and everything got all over my balls.
Yeah. Ugh.
And it was just bad. And
Yeah,
and then so
sounds
you
bad.
don't feel it initially. It takes like a minute or two for the stings to start.
Never been stung
sting.
by a jellyfish actually, so I can't.
It's
I can't
not
relate.
immediate. Like you'll see it and it's like, oh, it hit me. And
Yeah.
then like you'll be at the beach, it'll get on your arm and you're like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like wash it off and then it starts like building
Yeah.
and
Ugh.
building. So I popped up out of the water and everybody's spread out over a mile and the boat's like maybe a mile and a half away. And I was running through like it started at waist deep water.
Mhm.
And then when you get back to the boat, it gets shallower and shallower and shallower. And so I just yelled and I had like a $150 reel. I just dropped that
Dropped
shit.
it. Yeah.
I took my pants off, figured out it was a jellyfish,
Yeah.
and I just like washed it, everything I could, and I started hauling ass to the boat.
Uh-huh.
And so they just see this. They were like, "Oh shit, was there a shark?
It's just
Like, was there an alligator? What's going on with this kid?"
white.
And so they're all
ass.
just like sketched out and just watching me, and I'm running and running and running and running and running, and then so like the water starts getting shallower and
Mhm.
shallower,
Ugh.
and then because I didn't have my shirt on,
Yeah. And
anyway,
then all of a sudden.
and then all of a sudden you can see you see my ass a little bit, like halfway up, and then it's just a naked white kid
just
hauling
running.
ass to the boat, dude.
And that's when the school. And that's when the school bus comes by and
Yeah,
sees her.
well, there's boats driving by.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really know those people. I probably
Yeah.
never met them in my life. But the joke was, hey, what's going on, mayonnaise ass? You know, and they laugh, and they got back to the boat, and I'm just dumping beer on my balls, and they're like, don't waste the beer. And I'm like, it helps.
I need to.
It helps. Fuck you. I'll pay for it. And so and then anytime my friends would come around, they like made sure that they said it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what's the mayonnaise story about?
Yeah.
Like, one time he got a jellyfish on his balls. And so like that ran rampant throughout the high school. But I was like, whatever. I got jellyfish on my balls. Like,
that's not. Yeah.
It's not embarrassing. They're like, what's up, mayonnaise ass? Like they tried to make it catch on.
Stuff like that.
And I was like, whatever.
I'm white and I have an ass. Sorry. Like
what am I? I'm not tanning.
I'm not gonna
naked.
Naked tan?
What? Okay. Cool.
No. Yeah.
Whatever, bro.
Good. I mean, I have a
good
mayonnaise ass
burn.
too, dude. Like,
Yeah. Like it would you not pull down your pants right
Yeah,
now?
I know.
You got a mayonnaise ass. Yeah.
Definitely.
So they tried to take off, but it wasn't even that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you use? One word to describe yourself.
Hmm.
Man, if somebody had to describe Kevin Manetti in a word.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Be intense.
I know.
Whatever.
I would say.
How do you want to project yourself?
Yeah.
How do you want people?
I would say I am. I'm thoughtful.
Okay.
That's lame. I don't know why I said that. Immediately,
Immediately.
I left my mouth and I was like, nope.
I don't know
grab
if
it
it's a
back.
good question. I might
French
cut that
inhale
from the-
those words back into my mouth.
It's a good word. Thoughtful.
Thoughtful. Yeah. I
Like
think a lot.
So in your comedy, do you want to be like do you want to be like the silly guy? Do you want to be the rant guy?
I want to
Do you
be the
wanna
silly guy.
thoughtful guy, or do you want to be the?
So I think like
like when I leave your comedy set, do you want me to think like, oh shit, like, damn, that was like, like Dave Chappelle style. Like I laughed really hard, but also
I thought
like,
about it.
I thought about it.
I
you know,
want to
like
make
Joe
people
Rogan
think, but I think I want to be the guy who goes after Dave Chappelle after they're like thinking and they're laughing, and then I want to be the guy that makes you laugh about bananas.
That's a great
You know what I
form
mean?
of comedy.
Like,
there's
just-
a lot of times that I watch shit and I'm like, okay, so Dave Chappelle is my favorite comedian. Joe
Mhm.
Rogan's another one.
Yeah.
Rodney Carrington's another
Mhm.
one. But one of the reasons I love Rodney Carrington so much is he can do a little bit of the thoughtful shit.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's just stupid, silly
So
shit.
stupid shit.
So when I watch comedy, when I'm laughing, you want to think about shit. I don't want to think about shit. I
No.
want to laugh.
I want to laugh.
I just want to laugh. That's what my job is,
But-
to make people laugh. Also, but I love 180s. Like you think I'm going a certain direction, and then it's just the complete.
That's
other
what comedy.
direction.
That's what good comedy should
That's
be.
what good comedy should be. But also, I just love. You make me laugh about bananas.
But I know what I'm good at, and I know I can't talk about whatever the most important topic is of the day is and be right about it or make
Yeah.
people think the way that they should about it. I know I can talk about fucking, a sandbox and somehow make it comical. I don't know what I mean by that, but like, you know what I mean? Like the most
makes
obscure,
total sense.
the
Yeah,
most obscure thing, and I want to make you laugh about that.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's a good way to do your comedy. You know who you are,
Uh-huh.
and then what you can do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
There's just a lot of people that can't be silly.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like comics that are like super serious. If you're a super serious person,
Yeah.
be that Anthony Jeselnik. Be
Yeah.
the guys that walk. But that's so hard to
Yeah,
do.
I know.
Walk up there with just a straight face and then be like, anyway, man. So what is it? Will Williams does it really well. For his that like style, he'll find his voice or whatever.
It's a very
find his niche, but he's found
Great
his
face.
niche and he just needs to
keep going.
hone it better. You know.
Yeah.
Well, he told a joke about. He's got one. There's something there.
Uh-huh.
There's something
He's
there, and he's been
working.
trying it so hard. But there's the one about he's making bread, or his girlfriend makes bread. Have you heard that one?
I tell
But
it.
she uses like
Her yeast?
her yeast to make the bread, and it's like there's something there.
So cringy if it's not
It's
told right.
So yes,
If
and
it's not
so,
told
like,
right.
It's gonna take. You're gonna have to tell it so many times.
It's a
You gotta
good thought.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, like I know that there could be something there, and I really thought about it, and I can't believe nobody's got a joke about it yet.
Mhm.
But he's gonna have to figure out something. But I like just watching him do it on stage. I'm like, Will, like
So close,
so
man.
close, man. There's something
I
there.
want
but
you to-
like,
I wanna help you tap
but
into that.
I still feel like
Ugh. I don't want to think about
I
it.
don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
So we'll end it with what is I don't know. I wrote down Spencer's a piece
Piece of shit. Yeah. I
we
mean,
talked
like
about- we covered it a
we covered
little
it. We
bit.
did.
He's
We
super
did.
sweaty.
Yeah.
He says he's handsome, but
Mm,
and then his balls are out way too much,
way
too often.
He's I don't know.
He's the step in gum guy. You know that kid in high school is like, hey man, I actually sat in gum. He's that guy.
It's your balls. It's your balls.
You know
dude.
it from now on. If
Every-
Spencer ever tells me, hey man, I got the, I'm not looking, Spencer.
Mm-mm.
I'm not looking.
I need a visor. like an
Just
under neck
anytime-
visor.
Yeah, maybe even like a semi, not the cone, but like a
A semi-cone, yeah,
a semi-cone.
Just when I'm hanging out.
Just
Oh,
anytime I'm
Spencer's
hanging out
coming.
with
Oh,
Spencer.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
I gotta put it on.
Okay.
His balls are gonna be out.
Yeah. Just this is also for my stitches, by the way.
But it doubles as a Spencer visor.
That's Spencer visor.
A Spencer visor.
Spence vise.
Spence vise.
There's something.
A Spencer visor, like
Spencer.
maybe supervisor.
Spencer visor.
Spencer visor.
You said that.
Yeah. There it
Hey,
is.
I like that.
So, dude, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah,
on the
man.
podcast,
Thank you for
man.
having me. It's been a
Yeah,
it's been a
a
blast.
good time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. It's been Packing a Can with Dean Stanfield and the guest Kevin Manetti.